vast server farms, gigawatts of power. Hidden in quiet counties across America, a silent boom is powering the AI gold rush. But who really pays for the electricity, the water, and the risk of grid failures? This is the truth behind America's AI data center explosion. Hi, I'm from EconomiQ. We create daily explainers on global economics, policy shifts, market-moving events, and the rise and fall of major companies and technologies shaping the world. Today, we'll map the incredible growth of these facilities, show the economic winners and losers, and give you 3 critical signals to watch that will tell you whether this boom is sustainable or a massive public policy failure in the making. Let's start with the scale, because it's staggering. In the last 3 years alone, demand for data center capacity has skyrocketed. Major tech giants are pouring billions into new facilities. We're talking about companies like Amazon, Google, and Microsoft, who are leading this charge. Public reports show that just one of these new hyperscale data centers can consume as much electricity as a small city, often over 100 megawatts. To put that in perspective, utilities across the country are now forecasting electricity demand growth they haven't seen in decades. Projections from S&P Global Market Intelligence show that data center power demand in the U.S. is expected to more than double by 2030, reaching over 35 gigawatts. That's enough to power roughly 30 million homes. These aren't just a few new buildings. They are massive industrial clusters appearing in places like Northern Virginia, Ohio, and Arizona, fundamentally reshaping the energy landscape of entire regions. To understand the real impact, let's zoom in on a specific case. Take Loudoun County, Virginia, often called Data Center Alley. It's home to the highest concentration of data centers in the world. On one hand, the county has benefited immensely from tax revenue. These facilities contribute hundreds of millions of dollars to local budgets each year, funding schools and public services. But this has come at a cost. Residents have raised concerns about the constant noise from cooling systems and the visual blight of massive steed. Exiging staged of massive, windowless buildings. More critically, the power demand is so extreme that local utility Dominion Energy had to temporarily halt new data center connections in 2022, citing transmission constraints. A local resident was quoted in a news report saying, "We feel like our quality of life is being sacrificed for an industry that gives very little back in terms of local jobs." This same story is playing out in other counties, where generous tax breaks and subsidies are offered to attract these facilities. But the long-term strain on resources like water and power is shouldered by the local community. This brings us to the biggest risk: the strain on our energy grid. When a data center plugs in, it creates a massive, constant demand for electricity. Utilities have to meet this demand, which often means building new power plants, sometimes natural gas plants, or delaying the retirement of older, less efficient ones like coal plants. And who pays for these new power lines and generation facilities? You do. It comes in the form of higher electricity rates for all customers, not just the data centers. Utility companies pass these infrastructure costs onto their entire customer base. We're already seeing this happen. In Georgia, the planned expansion for data centers is a key reason cited by the state's main utility for a proposed rate hike. This creates a scenario where regular households and small businesses are essentially subsidizing the energy needs of some of the wealthiest corporations on the planet, all while facing a greater risk of blackouts during peak demand periods. So, who are the clear winners and losers in this equation? The winners are obvious. The big tech companies get the infrastructure they need to power the AI revolution. Construction firms and skilled trades get a boom in well-paying jobs. Landowners who sell their property for data center development can make a fortune. And some local governments, as we saw in Loudoun County, do see a significant boost in their tax base. But the list of losers is longer and less visible. It includes every electricity ratepayer who sees their monthly bill go up. It includes communities that face increased water stress in already arid regions. And it includes the environment, as the rush to build power capacity can slow down the transition to renewable energy. Let's do a simple calculation. If a new data center adds $1 billion in infrastructure costs to a utilities books, and that cost is spread across 1 million customers over 10 years, each customer could end up paying an extra $8 to $10 a month every month for a decade. This creates a serious policy tension. On one hand, there's a national interest in building out our digital infrastructure to stay competitive in AI. On the other, local communities are bearing the direct environmental and financial costs. The incentives are misaligned. Local governments offer huge tax breaks to win a data center, but they don't have to deal with the regional grid impact. What would sensible regulation look like? It could involve policies that require data centers to procure their own renewable energy, pay for grid upgrades directly, or be located in areas with surplus power. It means moving beyond a piecemeal, county-by-county approach and developing a more coordinated state or even national strategy that balances economic growth with grid stability and environmental justice. So, how can you tell where this is all heading? Here are 3 signals you should watch. First, look for major new rate filings from your local utility. If they are asking for significant price hikes and citing industrial load growth, that's a direct sign the costs are being passed to you. Second, keep an eye on new environmental impact reports or zoning battles in your county. An increase in public opposition or debate around new data center proposals is a signal that local backlash is growing. Third, watch where the big tech companies are investing. If they start shifting their new projects to regions with cheaper power or more favorable regulations, it tells you that costs and public pressure are starting to bite. Is this boom sustainable, or is it an economic bubble built on hidden subsidies? The answer will shape our energy future for years to come. I want to know what you think. Which signal worries you the most? Is it the electricity cost spikes, the local community backlash, or the concentration of corporate power? Let us know in the comments by typing 1, 2, or 3. And if you want to stay informed on the biggest economic trends shaping your world, make sure to subscribe for more explainers just like this one. Thanks for watching.